Alright guys, sorry I had to cut it because I didn't realize I didn't even have the game going. I was just ranting at that point. And just gonna hop back into it. Don't know exactly where I left off, but I'm just gonna say it like this. Um how a lot's changed. If you want to see the part where I paused and cut, just scroll to the end of the video. I'm gonna throw it in anyway. Just it's gonna be somewhere in there, it's gonna be cut in. But anyway, yeah, no, short story of what's been going on. Uh, College, boom, yeah, screw college. I'm just gonna go pick up the skills I need. Um, just wanted to make some games. Just wanted to have some fun. Don't really know what I'm gonna do in the future. Yeah. How am I going? Hang on this side. Yeah, no, I enjoy making this content because, people like talking to me on the side. Some people don't like talking to me. Sometimes they get annoying. I know I do because I've always been this way. But most people just go out and just experience life and just kind of just flow through it. Me, I kind of log everything. People sit back and turn on Netflix and that's it. Me, I'll sit there and I'll ponder my memories as far back as I can go, and sometimes I'll sit through and go to like grade school. When I was in like elementary, like oh, and then other times, yeah, other times I'll move on to when I was in intermediate school and middle school, and uh, what I did during those times, places I went to, friends I made, and things I met, and I analyzed the situation, looking around it. I don't want to sound like a weird person, but what's the point of living life and making memories if you never look back on them? I know this is probably something older people do, but why not do it in your youth too? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm not alone in this. Maybe I'm just some weird kid. Um, they're things I enjoy because it lets me, move forward in life and die on Halo. But yeah, no, I enjoy making the content because other people get to watch it. Maybe they can relate to it. More and more I've gotten out there, and more things in life have moved forward. The more and more I've noticed, it's not just me. Because like when I was really young, I used to like techno type music. I was like, what is it called? Where did they get it? Where did they find it? And I've been hearing stuff like it since I was like 8 years old, and I've always liked it. Even now, like right now, I'm listening to Surreal SVRL. Um, it's, one of my favorite DJs, and dying apparently. Um, but yeah, I've been listening to him since the beginning. Well, almost the beginning. But yeah, basically since the beginning. Been well over 10 years I've been listening to him since I was young. I was a kid, and YouTube was a savior in that case. But even back then, I was like, why doesn't he have more videos? When is this guy gonna make more music? I didn't even realize how big S3RL was big back then, but kind of look back to those memories, and I look at like what made me me today, and I noticed that I guess I was one of the few people that weren't exactly closeted in the things that I like. We're like, oh, what's that supposed to mean? You're already, man. Um, yeah, I'd put on cat ears and go to school, and people were like, what the hell is that, bro? Are you gay? It's like, no, what the hell? It's like, I'm a cat person. I'm a neko-san. But yeah, I was like, put on cat ears, put on a cat tail, and walk around. And, the whole, I guess furries existed back then, but I didn't call myself a furry. And I kind of don't call myself a furry now, but I still like doing the whole cat ear, cat tail thing, obviously. And I never grew out of it. And I'm just like, it's okay now, everyone's cool with it. And it turns out everybody actually thinks it's kind of right. Some people still think it's weird. That's cool. People got their opinions. Fine. But I think it's kind of funny because, like, even anime, and then anime got big, and then certain rock music I listen to, and now it's just like one of those hit pop culture things, and like Hatsune Miku used to just be like, what the hell is that, man? What the hell? I'd be like, guys, it's a Vocaloid. They'd be like, what the hell is this shit you're watching on YouTube, man? You're weird, bro. You're weird. I'm like, no, man, it's cool. We had in Japan, it's cool. But it seems like Japanese culture and whatnot, or I guess the otaku type lifestyle fandom person kind of came over here, and it's just cool, you know? I think it's really cool. Same thing with gaming. I know it's not like the biggest part of society, but when it comes to like pop culture, it usually infects around 10% of culture, and that's kind of where all this stuff is. It's still a popular thing. I don't know, it's not going to be here forever. Things evolve and change, but it's kind of cool. Seeing how the whole e-boy thing and goths, how they've all transformed, and how the little hikikomori, type, what you would call like loner kid, has turned into. And it's like when you meet these people, it's like they're not as weird as you think. They just like being left alone. And I used to be one of those people, and I just wanted to be kind of left alone. At the same time, I liked socializing because it allowed me to learn more and understand people more. But at the same time, I thought, I'm a loser, and it turns out, I look back at my life, and it's like, dude, you were the cool kid. It's weird, but it's like, hey, you're that guy. Hey, yo, do the thing with the knife. Do the thing with the knife and die. Do the thing with the knife. It's like, okay, hey, man. Yeah, you had a hard style shuffle. Shuffle, man, shuffle. I was always that guy. Like, oh shit, he's got a portable audio system. He's going, and it's whatever, man. But overall, I know I was judged pretty harshly by a lot of people, and it's not bad. It's kind of good. People are like, oh, you should be gentle with people. I'm like, yeah, maybe, but if you never give them any pressure, they go nowhere. I'm not saying be hard on people, but don't baby them, man. I'm not saying people have to get hurt, but just don't let everybody walk. Don't be gentle to a child because you don't want to yell at them. If they start screaming, scream too, and they're gonna be like, "What was that?" Like, yeah, it's not fun, is it? If you talk gentle, I'll talk gentle. And oh, okay, you respect me, I respect you. They kind of start to understand. But for me, it's just like my parents told me, they're like, "Man, we wish we would have, spent more time with you." It's not that they weren't around; they were around. It's just like it was more of a secluded kid. And people were like, that shit'll drive you insane, And I'm like, no. But yeah, I guess it kind of did. But at the same time, maybe not. And I've kind of just come to terms with it. People are like, no, you're not psychotic. I'm like, no, I'm definitely not straight up there. And for the most part, I get along with people very, very, very well. They just think I'm kind of odd. And no, before anybody asks, are you diagnosed with anything? I mean, ADHD, but that's about it, and I don't really talk about it. It's not that serious of an issue. It's giving me more of a benefit than anything, except for doing this, which is where I'm running around up here playing Halo and getting stuck because I'm more focused on the one topic of talking instead of playing and killing these guys. That sucks. That sucks. But yeah, I guess what I'm getting to is yeah, no, I switched jobs and everything. It was pretty cool. Where I'm at now, college thing kind of frustrated me, so I kind of gave up on it. And it's not that it wasn't that I was just gonna give up. It's just that my focus was on something else. If I was like everybody else and I was determined to get a job in what I was going to college for, And yeah, obviously I take it more serious, and I think that's why things went the way they went. It's like because I'm not understanding my priorities and what I'm supposed to be looking at. And if I was trying to get it for a job, I would have definitely put down all content creation, doing my side hobbies, and wasting time. And it's not that I couldn't do college. It's just that, I could still pass, but a lot of times they're like, "You're cheating." I'm like, "I'm not cheating. What are you talking about? You didn't write this, I'm like, "Look, y'all had me come in, take an exam. As far as like my essays writings, and like I scored like an 8 out of 10, whatever that thing is on that scale. And they said you need a 4 or 5, or I think a 6 just to even attend. And I'm like, my skills are good. They're like, "Yeah, you're really good." They're like, "You got really good writing skills." I'm like, "Okay, cool. So I'm just not understanding like why my essay writing suddenly is just fake apparently. Like it's AI, it's AI, and they showed me on one of my essays. They're like, "See right here, the first sentence of your essay." Yes, I think it was like a 2,500 word essay. I don't know. On like the first sentence, it says half of it might be AI. Might, not even is. It says it's a mixed result. So apparently it's AI. And what makes me mad is like, it happened a few times like that. But then when it came to like a major exam, they're like, "No, this is AI." Like, so that's why you didn't put in a grade. They're like, "Yeah, we're just going to fail you." Like, now that seems more like a money scheme. Y'all just keep running me around and making me do these classes, and I'm getting tired. And it has nothing to do with what I'm here for. So it kind of made me mad. And I was there for programming. So I just went ahead and I'm dead. Uh, I was just like, man, forget about this, and they weren't even helping me fund it and everything. I'm just gonna just move on, and I'll pay out of pocket. I'm not worried about money. I'm not rich, but I'm not worried about money. Let's just say that. And no, I'm not some trust fund baby. Parents. I moved out of my parents' house when I was young. I guess it's still young, but I moved out when I was 17, 18. I don't know. Who knows? It's kind of a mix. But I don't know. Yeah, what else? Yeah, no, it was the end of school. It was the end of school year, so I don't know. Don't like that. It was like right there at the end, man. I know it was like my last year of school. So, yeah, 18. 18. Yeah, moved out when I was 18. But, um, kind of crazy. Um, yeah, I never asked for money or had to go back. I kind of started figuring things out on my own, and I was more or less responsible, and I've been responsible, and I've had my money working for me, and have a proper savings and deal, and understanding what I need to do to make my money work for me. And I'm not saying this is like some get rich quick, BS. It's definitely not. But it took me about 4 years for this to actually work, and now people are seeing what I was talking about. Coworkers and some friends, and they're like, "Hey, how can I do that?" I'm like, "Well, I need a lot of money, but this is where I started. And you've kind of already missed some of the stuff that I got, so I can't guarantee you're gonna win the way I won." I know it's not gambling, but it may as well be. Somebody involves the stock market, but it's none of that trading bull crap. They're long-term investments. They're actual, holding this stuff for years, and um, but that's not how I live or support my lifestyle. So I don't want anybody to get the wrong idea. Um, I basically take out what it would cost for like some of the most minimum in living, but to still be comfortable, like what's reasonable. And I know people might say that I'm crazy, but I feel like I look pretty comfortable because I've given myself a little bit of a bonus recently as far as like grocery shopping, and I can spend $40 a week. $40 a week in groceries. Like, I don't know, some people are like, "That's nothing, that's nothing." I'm like, that's plenty. For me, that's 160 a month. No, I'm not starving myself, but I don't like overly indulge either. And I guess it's one of the reasons why I'm still like in very good shape. I don't look like it with my clothes on, obviously. People are like, "Oh, you're just a twig, you're a stick," and then I take my shirt off, and they're like, "Oh, you're you're still small, but you're you're you're, you're muscly. So it's like yeah, I'm not. I mean, I used to be bigger, but again, I used to like overly indulge, and I was making more money too. Uh, but no, I learned to live off of a bare minimum lifestyle. And the way I basically set it up is people are like, hey, how can I make more money over time? And for me, it's kind of the opposite. For me, it's like, how can I start now and work heavily, hard as can be, to where every year after this, it'll just get easier and easier to work and work less and less. And I'm not gonna lie, I started off working just about 80 hours or more, a week, and then it went down to 70 to 60 to 50 to 40, and I'm right around that 40-ish range. I just went back up to 50 as of recently. But now I get Saturdays and Sundays off, so I'll have more time to do stuff like this. Like today's Saturday, and I would have never been able to do this. I'd be at work right now, and this is so enjoyable. You know, I mean, I wouldn't even gone to my first break yet, so it's kind of nice. So now I can come back. I can make content. I don't even gotta focus on like spending half a day trying to figure in the face, trying to figure things out and rush for the day when I can just do like this, man. I can spend part of the day just getting ready and deciding what I'm gonna do for content, and then I can actually spend it making it and then editing it and then post it. And I know it's not like it's a lot of content, but hey, I know I can guarantee a video a week, and that's enough for me. I don't know if it's enough for y'all. I'm not doing this for y'all. I mean, if y'all are liking it, cool, but um, I like doing more if I can. Oh crap! Yeah. Oh, got him. Yeah. Is he dead? Yeah, he's dead. Yeah. So basically, where I'm at now is I'm at a decent point where I know I'm probably not gonna get to that point where I wanted to in life, and some people are like, no, 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 I'm gonna get there one day, and I'm not trying to make fun of anybody, but you know who I'm talking about, and we have a little bit of this in all of us, we all do, and I'm here admitting it too, I'm gonna be Elon Musk, and it's like you're not, I'm not saying you can't, I definitely can, but just the opportunities that may exist for that to happen don't exist yet, at least as far as I can see in my future. Are there steps to get there? Absolutely, but I mean, just think about this. How important would it be for me to become Elon Musk? I'll be a billionaire. It's like, do you need that much money? Do you care? Do you really care? Would that really make you happy? Do you want to be burnt out and do that and just be a workaholic 24/7 and do that like him? Is that what you want? Is that what you're shooting for? Because you're already complaining about working 30 hours a week, whether it be at Walmart or at a law firm. I don't know where you work, but you're like, man, I wish I could just be rich. Well, Elon Musk is rich and he's burnt the hell out. You know, it's like, do you exactly want that? And for me, it's like, no, not really. Would I be happy with $1 million? I'd be pretty okay. $5 million? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I can make that work actually really well, and I'd be pretty well set for at least the next 80 years. So I know it'd be good for life because more or less knowing how to invest it. Where am I going? Let's take me through a loop. Okay, I'm going through this loop again, but where am I supposed to go? Pretty sure it's not that way. There's got to be another opening here. Hmm. There's that one there. Oh, okay. I mean, am I tripping? Like, where am I supposed to go? Okay, yeah, I'm just dumb. But yeah. Burn! Burn! Oh, crap. Oh, this shit's opening. Let's go. Eat it. 112? Yeah. So I'm at the point of basically just moving forward in life and figuring out what I want to do. I mean, I guess I probably already should have it figured out, but it's like, hey, I like doing stuff for people, you know. And a big thing I've always told people, like, hey, if you want to do something you enjoy, provide a service, but don't be a servant. And like, what does that mean? And it's like, well, um, if there's something you just enjoy doing just to do, and like you want people to ask you to do it just so you can have something to do and something new, like, man, I like drawing, but I don't know what to draw. And you're like, hey, somebody draw something. And they're like, oh, draw me, me riding a majestic dragon through the sky, and I'm in GTA, and we're just gonna like shit fucking Yoshi eggs on people. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll draw that for you. That seems live. But draw it as though I was on acid looking through night vision goggles. It's like, okay, yeah, let's try this. Are they colored? Yes, they're colored night vision goggles. It's like, oh, okay, this is gonna be interesting. So you try to make it real, and then, people use AI for that, but that's something like people might actually enjoy. And then they're like, hey, what's the next task? And they get paid for it, because they might be pretty good at it, but it's that type of passion. And for me, it's providing services of, different sorts, but sometimes I do and don't have time, but it helps me learn new things and have fun. And, I guess for me, I'm looking into a few things I'm gonna do myself, and I have this thing to where I feel like it's gonna fail. It's okay if it does, but it's gonna hurt. And, I know you don't always win the first time, so I'm gonna have to try a few times to make all this stuff work. And I've been looking into starting a business, and I'll see where it goes. I guess another one. Um, but um, aside from that, I mean, thing I can always look forward to is making content. So that's what I want to do is this. And I mean, I guess now at this point, I guess I'm just ranting. So I guess I'll move on to the things I really want to do or plan on moving forward to doing. And again, not for money. Where am I supposed to go at this point? Guess back here. Oh my god, this shit again. This is where I came, man. Halo maps are cool, but sometimes they're honestly confusing, man. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Hell yeah. Exactly like I planned it. But yeah, and I've been working in my backyard. There's a storm that passed through and kind of tore it up. And I just went ahead and just, bought a new storage little shit thing stuff since the last one got, messed up. And I thought about, maybe buying some goats, man. Like, I'm pretty sure people would want to check it out. I mean, personally, I just think, like, raising some little pygmy goats would be cool. And here you can get cheese from them and milk. So I'm just like, okay, I don't know how I want to do it, but because people are like, oh, you can sell the meat. I'm like, I don't want to raise these guys and drive them to a slaughterhouse. Like, no, you're not gonna do that. You just sell them to a farmer and they'll do it. It's like, that's terrible. That's like, hi kids, I'm not gonna cut you up and dismember you, and send you to a weird black market to, have you be eaten. I'm just gonna give you this guy. He's gonna give you money, and then he's gonna go and do it for you, or whatever, he's gonna go and do it. It's like, it's still just as terrible. Um, sorry, I had to stretch. But yeah, it's still just as terrible. But no, I guess the point that I'm getting at is, yeah, I went left real quick. Is, yeah, no, with the goats, they'd be pretty cool to raise, and I don't know, I guess they really only produce milk when, they're pregnant, so they'd have to be having kids. Uh, and I could sell them. I mean, I might, but I don't know. I just gotta look into it. I don't want to be that guy. It's like weak. It's like, hey, I just don't want to be that guy. I eat the meat. I don't want to know where it comes from. But yeah, I figured that would be pretty cool. I thought about starting a really nice herb garden back there. I don't know if I want to do a greenhouse and do it. But I might because, winter is coming and I think it would be cool. But I got a lot to clean up in my backyard. And I do want to do some videos back there, but I got a lot to do, man. I gotta redo part of my front yard. I gotta put up a fence and a gate, and the gate got destroyed in the storm, in the back. So, I need some privacy from the neighbors. And I'm gonna end up building it up. And I want to build this deck. There's a lot that I want to do in my backyard. Dang, all my friends died, and I'm the only one who survived. I'm so guilty. How can I live with this? I will seek on to avenge my intergalactic comrades. They're sitting over there like, is he gone? Is he gone? Okay, yeah, let's ditch this guy. He's fucking psycho. He's trying to take on the whole galactic goddamn army on his own. Turns out Master Chief's just a psych patient, guy who escaped, and somehow has been breaking into breaking into ships and just joining the military. But no, like I was saying, with all my incredulous-ish ambitions, I'm trying to move a little bit more forward, with things I want to do. Because for a while now, I don't want to say how long, it's to be. I feel like it's a decent sacrifice to do what I want to do, but now I'm actually so much more focused on my time that money really isn't something that I look forward to. I know that might sound weird, but people are like, you get to work more hours at work, yay, more money. And I'm like, you don't have time to spend it. People are like, yeah, you can. I'm like, no, you spend it on things you don't need, and they aren't even worth it, man. It's just like, it's not. Sorry, I had to pause there for a second. Yeah, you get some better guns around here? Oh wait, I should have rocket launchers down here. What in the world am I doing? I'm committing suicide at this point. Oh god, run. Oh wait, no. Yeah, no, I definitely need to go grab these guns. Yeah, I did it to myself, y'all. We got some rocket launchers over here. We need rocket launchers. I'm gonna rocket launchers. Oh man, they're definitely screwing me. Okay, yeah, I definitely need to get the hell out of here. But yeah, I spent some time just kind of rushed through to get money, and I mean, to me, I see it as one of those developmental tools to help you, further your life. Just like somebody would invest time to create tools so that they can create items such as clothing and shoes, you would actively invest, if you couldn't go just out and buy tools, say money didn't exist. Yeah, say money didn't exist, and, or, not even money. Let me just say, clothing stores. Let's just say they didn't exist. That wasn't a thing. You had to spin your own thread. Yeah, you had to spin your own thread and weave. Yeah, and you had to weave your own clothes. You would want some of the best clothes you can get your hands on to do that. And you'd want to get better and better tools, and you'd find ways to get better and better tools to make it easier for you, so you don't have to keep making more tools or finding more tools or having to, make your clothes the hard way. You find the easiest way possible to where, you don't even have to make your clothes anymore, it just kind of just does it itself. And I'm slowly getting to that point, like, with money, it's just another tool, I'm not gonna be rich, it's not like I got a machine making lavish clothes for me, but it's just one of those basic tools you're gonna need in life. Basic math, you're gonna need that in life, so you're gonna try to develop a strong understanding to where you're not 1 plus 1 is 2, so that means 4 plus 3 is 7? No, you just wanna be like, 3 plus 3 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9, 12 times 12 is 144. You want to start to develop basic math, to where you get to stuff like 9 times 9 is 81, 5 times 4 is 20. This is basic stuff. That's the thing. Those are the basics. You want to just have those offhand, not sitting there like, oh man, 27 times 3. Oh, what could that be? Is it 89? It's like, oh, you're good at math. It's like, no, not really. That's something I feel like most people can do. I'm not fast at math. You give me something like 16 times 16, and I'm gonna look at you and go, I don't know, 239, Um, but on a real note, 16 times 16. I don't know, 269. You know, like those ones I can't get off the bat. You know, I guess like the highest I can go right now is like 15 times 15 with the 225. You know, um, I just like senselessly die here. Just not even focusing. Um, yeah, no, basic skills, but money's one of those things. You know, I just want to find out what satisfies me. And I know this has probably been like an ADHD conversation at this point, you know, going all over the place. But I did pause the video earlier and kept talking, that's why there's a cut. Ooh, oh, die. I should probably be running at this point, 'cause I really don't know where I'm supposed to keep going. But hey, I'm gonna get there. Yeah, now that I got more or less the money part solved, you know, I already know that like I want to retire like in the future. I gotta have a certain amount of money, and it's already growing itself. I asked my friends like, "Hey, how much you got in your spending account?" Like, what do you mean? Why are you asking that? Well, that's not what I mean. I mean like, you know, how much you got? Like, you know, if you want to go out this Friday, how much can you afford? Like for me, it's like I put away like $30, you know, a week. But now I do 50. It's like, you know, just what do you mean? Like if I want to go like gambling, it's like $50. It's like people are like, oh, that's not much. It's like you're right, but I don't go gambling every weekend. You know, I might go maybe once every 2, 3 months, you know, something like that. And it's not even to casino. It's just like to go play games. You know, like an arcade, stuff like that. But you know, I could take $50. I don't have to spend it that week. So, you know, I'm getting $200 a month. If you're like, that's a dumbass allowance. It's like, how much would you give your kids? How much do you think is enough for your kids to, you know, decently enjoy themselves? And people are like, 200 is actually quite a bit. It's like, exactly. Look at what you got away with and the stuff that, you know, kept you happy and let you enjoy things when you were a kid. How much did you ask your parents for? How much did your parents actually provide for you for entertaining things? Some people would say a lot. It's like, okay, well, let's think about that. $200 a month for a year. And even though it's rounding differently, it's going to be around $2,600. You know? So, can you imagine giving your kid $2,600 a year to spend on things he might find as fun? It's like, yeah. It's like, well, how are you going to go buy stuff like a motorcycle? It's like, you're not going to buy a kid a motorcycle. You're not, well, I mean, you might, you know, but it's going to be a little dirt bike. But I'm talking about a full on like a R1 or a MT-09 or a ZX6. You're not going to buy that, you know? Yeah, you're not gonna buy that for a kid. But video games, maybe a video game console with $2,600, could you afford a console every year? Absolutely. But are you? No. Who's gonna go buy, you know, a PlayStation 5 for $700? No, I still have a PS4. And on top of that, I think it's collecting dust because I just have a PC set up at this point. You're like, oh, well, yeah, kids with small allowance can't afford it. No, I already have the PC build that I want. I mean, at the time, it cost me $800 to make. Now it's, well, I guess during COVID the price went up. But yeah, I guess now the prices and stuff have fallen back down. Still get it for 800. I'll get it for less. Yeah, I can actually get it for a lot less now. So yeah, I'd say my PC's probably worth maybe $600. Just the tower by itself, you know, everything inside of it, graphics card and all. And I mean, tell it you're gonna get them 16 gigs of RAM, a Ryzen 5 3600, and a RTX 3060 Ti for the Win Ultra 3, or for the Win 3 and Ultra, And they're gonna be like, yeah, mom, yeah, definitely, yeah, give me that, or yeah, dad, thanks, hell, I appreciate it. Hey, bro, it's got RGB. It's like, yeah, so I'm kind of happily satisfied with it. And same thing with my mouse and my keyboard. They're not like top of the line, but they're just not like a $10, like a little $10 Dell recyclable generic keyboard. They're Steel Series, and I can't remember what I got. They're like 150 a piece, and I think my mouse was like $80 or $100, like that. I don't know. And then my keyboard was like 200ish. I don't know. It was somewhere around there, but it was something I liked, and the keys felt fine. It's definitely not one I can customize too much, but I do want to get that next, so it's something I'm looking forward to. I just wasn't sure if I was well vested enough into PCs to actually do it, and when I started talking about PC setups, I actually realized that most people don't own a PC. So it's and I ask why, and they're like, it costs too much. Nah, no, I mean, I guess they're not wrong. Because even me, I tell people, I'm like, it's cheaper than a PlayStation 5, but people still struggle to buy that. So, I can't, I'm not judging. I get it, and we're all in our own predicaments in life. But, I don't know, I guess I got a way that I save money or do money, or, I don't know. But, I mean, hell, I've got 3 monitors here, and no, they're not the same size because I don't actually use all 3. I primarily only use 2 of them. I have one to the side, which if I do start doing streaming, one's gonna be for chat. But I just have it for side stuff I'm looking on the side. And I have my main programs I'm running on one LG monitor, and then I have the game I'm playing on one LG monitor. And then on an Asus monitor is where I got my little side stuff, kind of like task manager, and maybe if I'm backing up my phone, or looking at something on the side on my computer. But like right now on my other LG monitor, I'm playing YouTube so I can listen to music, and I'm running OBS to record this. So it kind of lets me multitask, and people are like, wait, you got 3 monitors? Shit, I can barely afford one. It's like, oh. And then I really look at the cost of all my stuff, and it's like, well, $800 to build my PC at first, plus my mouse and keyboard's about another $300, so you got $1,100. And I got my monitors on sale for really, I think they were 200 a piece or 100 a piece. They got down to 100 a piece. They're supposed to be like $300 a piece. They're not fancy. They're just great for 1080p. And but yeah, they're 300 a piece LGs. So they're not bare bone bottom. They're they're pretty decent. And yeah, the frame rate is like 70, or the refresh rate is like 70. Whatever the hell you want to call it, hertz, 70 hertz, So it's not like super smooth like everybody wants, but it's, the money went into other qualities. Hopefully it just ain't going to buy anything. But it works pretty nice for me. I look at it compared to my cheaper monitors, and I like it. I like these LG monitors. Even compared to my Asus monitor. My Asus monitor is a cheaper monitor. And side by side, like, they don't even compare. Like, the LGs are pretty nice. And I know they don't compare to like high-end ones, but it's a good middle ground, Dang. I'm trying to figure out, like, why is it so much harder than it used to be? It's like, oh yeah, I'm playing in rogue mode. I already take bullets. Yeah, I guess that'd be 1,100 plus. Say I got each monitor for 100, and then the Asus is like 150. It was cheap, I think, when I got it. It was 150. It might have been 130, something like that. I'll say 150. Just to, I'm running things out.
Good to see you, sir. Welcome to the party.
So that's another $350 there that I spent. The value's higher, but now we're sitting at 650 plus all my little minor connections I got. I was throwing another $50. So we're sitting at around what $1,500. We're just sitting with that, and then we got my Stream Deck. I don't remember how much these things cost. I'm just gonna say $100 just to make it just even. I said 1,600 plus my GoPro. I'll just say 100 because the now value, I think. It's a GoPro 4. It's nothing fancy. I don't know. That I use for my camera, and then I have 2 smaller 4K generic cameras. Another one's 4K. It's kind of like a GoPro knockoff, and another one's a 2K. And it's just like a webcam you hang up. But anyway, just one webcam's good enough, you know. So I'm sitting at like $1,600, $1,700 there, and you know that's not everything I got here. I still got my mic. I got my mic too. I think I paid 50 for that. I'll just say it's 50. I don't know. And what? I think that's it. Oh, my mouse pad and stuff, and I don't know, the $1,700 setup. You know, I mean, even if we just round all those down and consolidate, you know, nowadays prices, we'll just say 1,500. Even if somebody was like, "Hey, choose to go get a PlayStation 5 or go get a PC," they're gonna be like 700 versus 1,500. They're not even gonna go near the PC. You know, I don't blame them. Even if you're gonna build a small build, it's still gonna cost you close to $1,000 to get everything. You know, people are like, "Oh, I can get a computer for $500." It's like you can't. But now, what about all your other stuff? Your monitor, speakers, unless it's gonna play out of your monitor. Headphones, unless you use headphones. Oh, almost out of ammo. Uh, your peripherals, keyboard and mouse. You know, you're still gonna pay for those, and those gonna be fairly cheap. You know, I'm not saying you can't get a setup for $600, $700. Be happily gaming with it. Probably build something even cheaper. You know, I'm not the smartest guy, and it's for me. Something like this keeps me happy. But yeah, I give myself my own little allowance. I know I've kind of stretched this on a bit. Yeah, I give myself my own little allowance. That makes it kind of easy. And it's like, oh, what about how do you pick your vehicle? It's like same thing. I just put away an allowance. You know, so even though the money's there, I don't just spend it because I'm like, hey, you can spend it. It's like, no, like I just live on the bare minimum, like more or less semi broke. No, I'm not. But I don't worry about nothing. It's kind of like how an old person gets like social security checks every month. You know, all they have to do is just cash it or whatever you want to call it. You know, and like all I have to do is just go to work. It's just called having a proper budget. And it's like, do I have to redo it? You know, often? Yeah, roughly once a year. Obviously, you know, prices change. Does. But you know, it's just it happens. Yeah, it's just that it happens. But it's just like, hey, you know, if I want to go buy a game, it's like, well, what's in my spend account? And it's like, oh, cool, yeah, I can buy this. It's like, but is there something else I'm wanting to buy? It's like, yeah, but I can wait. You know, and sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. You know, you still kind of like have the same. You have that same genuine type of like curiosity and enjoyment you had when you were a kid. You know, everybody says like, "Oh, things are so much better when I was a kid. I had less stress, less things to worry about." And when you really think about it, it's like because you know, mommy and daddy managed all the finances for you. You know, they managed everything for you, and now you're having to do it yourself. But I mean, just go sit down with your parents and ask them like, "Hey, how did you do it for me? We put this aside for you and this aside for you," and then you realize like, oh, they don't even do it for themselves. But if you do it for yourself, you're like, uh, I'm just practicing mom and dad strategy towards me. And I know some people don't have that courtesy of a mom and dad, you know, so I'm not trying to harp on anybody. And, but I didn't really get much of an allowance. I got like $5 a week, um, just for doing chores and staying up. And just for staying out of trouble in school. Yeah, just for staying out of trouble in school. So, okay, are all these guys dead? So, you know, it wasn't much for me. And my parents told me at a young age, like, hey, you know, you're gonna have to start buying stuff on your own. So I started like collecting cans and wire and all sorts of crap and just like scrapping it. Man, I was like 14, 15. It's freaking wild. Look back at it like, you know, just a little kid walking around, but it's not that bad. Um, let's see where I need to go here. Screw you. Man? Oh, I thought he was dead. So yeah, I kind of get to still enjoy that nostalgia. Same thing with like music and like TV shows, and you know, people were like, "Oh, it's just because you become jaded," and truly, everybody really does eventually at a point. And to me personally, there's like a lot of things that I don't enjoy, and it's like, well, why not? I'm like, I don't know. Like I go back to them, it's like I don't enjoy them no more, and I'm like, why? What is it? And it's like, well, what did I used to see in these things that made me happy back then? And honestly, you hit. Oh, I got hit. Oh no, I didn't get hit. God, man, I got attacked mercilessly. Yeah, I used to look at those things, and the big thing was like once people start making a lot of money, they start to like lifestyle inflate. And the thing is like if you restrict yourself, I'm not saying you should, but this is why they say you know having a restraint is a good thing. That also applies with money. Just because you make more doesn't mean you need to spend more. You can, but doesn't mean you need to. People go, oh, well, now I'm going to routinely do this every week. Now it becomes a necessity because you go, hey, instead of a $300 a month or lease payment or, you know, car payment, I can now afford a $700 payment. And then something happens and you're like, oh no, now I can't afford this. And now it's like, hey, give up the car. It's like, well, now you got to go from a Lexus back towards a Honda, a little Honda Accord. And it's like, wait, what? No, I can't do that. People are gonna think I'm broke. It's like, well, bro, you're not broke, and it doesn't mean you're broke. Just a car. They both have metal. They're both made of metal. It's the same metal. You know? It's just one goes from point A to point B. Yeah, but this one does 60 on the highway. This one also does 60 on the highway. Yeah, but no, there's just, you know, it's just, you just get what you can afford, or, you know, just what fits within the budget. I don't know. Other people have the thing to where they're like, ah, well, look at me. I can afford 20 bars of gold. It's cool. It's cool. It's not like, oh, it's embarrassing. Now I'm depressed. My life is terrible. It's like, no, you are literally the normal person walking out there in life, and that guy is the exception. Just like you're like, hey, I don't want to be the homeless guy. It's like, well, do you think you're gonna be homeless? Well, no, I don't think I'm gonna be homeless. Why? Because of my lifestyle. It's like, okay, well, is it rare to become homeless? Yeah. Okay, is it rare to be rich? Yeah. Well, then if you think it's nearly impossible for you to become homeless, you know, because you would never maneuver your way into a position because you know better. Yeah, move yourself into a position where you become homeless. It's extremely difficult to maneuver yourself into a position. Ah, dang it. Suicide. Um, it's extremely difficult to maneuver yourself into a position to you're a lonesome one person where you're just like, yeah, I'm a billionaire. Becoming a millionaire is not as hard as you think, but becoming a millionaire when you're 20? Yeah, no. Yeah, I mean, it's not impossible, but don't think like, oh man, I don't own a Lambo yet. They can't be me. It's like, you could. You know, probability and possibility are two different things. It's very possible, but the probability is like slim to none, you know? So, why do you even think a Lambo's cool? Because somebody else said it's cool. Because somebody else said fast is cool because girls like cool and girls like fast. Like, no, like, stop, guys. You know, you're just hurting yourself. That's why you're lame. I'm like, not really. People get very jealous of what I've got. You're like, oh, that's because they're just bigger losers. It's like, no, they're not. They have that same mentality of I should have and I should have. And to see me living that comfortable lifestyle, they're just like, oh, you know what I would do with that money? I'm like, yeah, you'd probably blow it all and then just screw the goddamn money printer. It's like, it's kind of like a gold reserve. You got little gnomes, or gnomes. You got elves in the mine, dwarves in the mine. You got dwarves in the mine mining gold. And out of that gold, you got to give them 10% to keep going. And you're like, well, how can I make the mines bigger? Well, I can put more in buying more miners and blah, 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 blah. And you can become a grand gold wizard. But in reality, what ends up happening is people are like, oh, I want to buy a better sword. I want to buy a better wand. I want to buy a better skin for my wizard. And they end up overspending to a point where they actually have to start cutting down on what miners they have because they're like, oh, I can still get this much gold, but let's just do this for now. And then they get to a point where they've completely destroyed their mining team and they can't afford their lifestyle, and then just miners are going to quit. And then you're just like, wait, what happened to my gold mine? It's like, well, you destroyed it, you overspent. And that's what generally happens to people when they come into a large lump sum of money. That's never happened to me. I really wish it did. Progress the things I get going. But I don't focus on making money just to help me make more money. I focus on making money to help me make more time. Or at least allow me to have more time in my day. And I think about it. Like, do I cook for myself? Absolutely. And, it takes me around 2 to 3 hours a day to cook and prep, and it's hard, but I have the time. And now that I'm gonna be working more hours during the week, I'm like, dang, prepping everything's gonna be hard. So basically, the conclusion is, well, am I gonna be making more money? Yeah. Well, how much does it cost for me to eat a day? Well, how many more hours am I working, and how much more money am I making? It's like, well, I'm making this much more money with this many more hours. It's like, okay, so now that I'm working 2 more hours a day and I'm eating roughly $3 to $5 worth of food a day, if I'm working in excess of 2 more hours, that 2 more hours brings me $30. But if I get overtime, that could be $20 an hour, so $40. And I'm just like, okay, so an extra $40 a day. How much does it cost for me to go out to eat? Well, I know everybody goes to fast food and they're like, your prices are impossible. I'm like, no, I go to like cafes and stuff. I'm like, we're like, that ain't nothing. It's like, can I get 2 stuffed tacos? And it's like, oh, they're small. Like, these things are big. It's like, well, how much do they cost? All depends where you go. Sometimes they're $2, sometimes $3 a piece. We're like, well, that's expensive. It's like, think about this. You're getting actual homemade tortillas. Stuff with homemade fajita meat. And fresh cut vegetables picked that day from a local garden, near your city. And they go into a local kitchen, because they're delivered in the morning, and you go and buy from these people. And they cook for you right there on the spot. Everything's fresh, even the meat. The meat comes from a meat market, local, fresh. It's raised local too. And you're just like, man, $3 for one of those. Oh man, they're good tacos. Like, think about going to like Taco Bell and getting like one of those beefy Frito burritos or one like the loaded grillers they used to have, and just double them up. There you go. Or the classic bean burrito, stuff, but less tortilla, a lot less tortilla, but more stuffing up like meat and stuff. They're like that big for $3. And they're good as can be. And some places you can get it for $2. And some places have Taco Tuesday, and it's like $1.50 for those tacos. And oh my god, it's well worth it. Think about this. You're gonna go somewhere else. And buy tacos. And let's say you go to Jack in the Box, you get 2 for $1. 2 for $2. I don't know. I don't even go to Jack in the Box anymore. And you're just like, okay, and then it's like, would you like a burger? It's like, yeah, I'd like a burger. How much is that? Oh, that'll be $8.95. And some of them are like $13. But you go to these like little homemade cafes that's like, hey, can I get a burger? It's like, yeah, sure. What would you like? Would you like a quarter pounder or a half pounder? Would you like additional toppings or not? Or would you like the basic load? What's the basic load? Oh, 2 slices of cheese. and mustard and ketchup. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, I'll take the basic load. Does it come with pickles? No, pickles are an extra 30 cents. Like, yeah, I'll take pickles. And it's like, all right, and so you're getting the quarter pounder, I'm getting the quarter pounder. And I'm like, well, it's gonna be $6. It's like, okay, $6 for the quarter pounder with the basics, right? Yep. It's like, oh, okay. And people were like, well, that's how much you would pay, at a regular place. And it's like, yeah, you're right. That is how much you would pay more or less at a regular place, $7. But it also comes to drink and a huge ass bag of fries. It's like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. It's like, yeah, however, the only difference is this isn't frozen fast food, meat. It's actual meat. They take the meat, they take the beef, they put it in a grinder and grind it in front of you. It's actual meat. So it's good. I'm happy to pay for that. It's not that expensive. So you add it up, you get like 3 of those meals a day, man. That's $21, and that way outweighs the time I would have spent making it for myself. And they're making me better food, and it's on the spot, and I don't gotta work for it, and I'm less stressed, So it's like, and I don't gotta go shop because they're getting it for me, So it's like, it's cool, it saves a lot. I'm working more, but I'm actually saving more, not much more. Oh, and now I also got Saturdays off. So it's really cool, and now that I'm actually making more money, it's just so weird. It feels like I'm working less, but I can actually utilize my days better. And my money thing is going up a lot faster. And I do have a goal point to where once I reach it, I can actually live on a budget, and my money will grow itself. We're like, you're obsessed for money. It's like, yeah, but why are you trying to get rich? It's like, oh, I'm trying to get rich, so I can be a baller. Be a, the guy. It's like, I'm not. That's terrible. I don't want to be the guy. I don't want to be king. I just want to be out of the floodwaters, Can I go to the king's chair and just sit at the side and be like, yo, bro, you got some snacks? Cool. It's like, you want me to dance for you, man? Yeah, jester, yeah. But yeah, I just don't want to be at the bottom. But I don't really care for the top. Everybody spends their life trying so hard to get to the top, and it's like, why? It doesn't. Yeah, I guess it's a status thing. Everyone's like, if you're not doing it, well, then you don't find it cool, well, then you're the loser. It's like, that's what somebody who's in the game would assume, and that's who somebody who's in the game would strive to not become. The loser. But the reality is if you're in the game, you create that label, you create that term, and you put yourself into that ideological perspective that you are a loser. And in reality, hell, people are like, I wish I was the 1%. You are the 1%. Well, I don't know, everybody who's going to watch this is going to say they're the 1%, but I'm not rich. And in relation to my country, our elite, I'm not rich. But in relation to the world, I'm already in the 1%. People are like, I wish that was me. Do you work at McDonald's? Yes. Are you in debt? No. Okay. Do you have $50 in your pocket? Yeah. Congratulations, you're in the 1%. And I don't know, I'm gonna be extremely accurate. But, first world countries are only 15% of the world's population. So even if you're just living in there and you got money, you're already in the top 15%. So what would you do to say, hey, I wish I was in the top 20% of income earners in the world? You'd be like, oh, hell yeah. And they're like, well, what if we made you the top 15? You'd be like, even better. And they'd be like, here's a job at McDonald's or Walmart. And I know some people would be like, oh, that's stupid. It's like, no, that's literally it. Globally, you're doing way better than most. And I know there might be the opposite perspective of like, no, the world's just extremely poor. Well, in a way, kind of, but they're just not structured properly is the way first world countries are. And people are like, well, that kind of creates a slave mindset. I'm like, well, look at their country. Look at the country where most people come from. They already are in a slave mindset or put into a slave economy. If that's how you want to look at it. But you have to work to what you want to get, or you can create your own business and work for yourself, and maybe eventually have people work for you. Just if you have another way to make money or live a lifestyle, then do that and be happy. But to say, hey, I'm not going to work for anybody and I'm not going to start a business, but I'm going to make money, and you're like, but I'm not gonna have a business, then I don't know. Like, if you figure that out, cool, you know, that's great. Some people are like, I'm a YouTuber, and I'm like, yeah, you're still working for money. Stop YouTube and see how fast that money dries up. If you're still making money, well, cool, but you still had to work for it. You know, you can't just be like, snap fingers and money printer. You're like, I can. It's like, yeah, you still had to work to get the printer. Make it work. Oh, shit. Decoys. Aw, dang it. Yeah, laugh at me. But yeah, you kind of realize, like, what's the standard you want to live, and just think about when you were a kid. Just think about when you were a kid. Everything rolls back to when you were a kid, man. It's like, what did I want? People were like, I want to be a firefighter. I want to be a lawyer. You know, I want to be a doctor. You know, I want to be president. You know, but as you get a little bit older, you start to realize that's what you really want to be. You're like, man, I want to be a welder, man. I want to work on trucks. I want to be a cybersecurity specialist and take down bad guys. I want to be a police officer or detective. And those are actually very manageable things to become, you know, especially if you live in a first world country. You know, it's very, very manageable to become. I want to build houses, or I want to be an architect. Maybe not an architect, it's a little bit more difficult to become, but doing construction. But then when people get into it, they're like, I hate this, you know, because it's not what they expected, you know. But as a kid, it's not what you see. So look at that and just try to live that image. Like, let's say a construction worker, and I'm going to do with like residential house building, you know. And it's give and take here, because I've seen crews to where people hate it and people love it, because everyone hates each other and everyone loves each other, and those are the two different mindsets. So when you see people that go to work in construction and they're like, I haven't had my coffee in the morning, and they're just sitting there like, yeah, don't talk to me, screw you, Jim, good morning, Bob, screw you, Jim. You know, it's like, okay, Bob, it's like, I hate this job. Wish they could just give me money and let me go home. I'm gonna go hide in the porta potty for about the next 45 minutes. It's like, where's Bob? He's in the porta potty. Yeah, tell him he's fired. Man, life sucks. I hate my job. I'm here 20 hours a week just to afford my lifestyle. It's like, Jim, you got 7 trucks and 13 boats, of course. But I also have 6 kids. It's like, who decided to have those? She did. Man, her choice. But yeah, it's something you gotta kill this guy this time. He keeps getting me. Yeah, take that. Eat it. But yeah, then you got those workers, and you know who I'm talking about if you're in construction. And you see this, you know, I'm not trying to sound funny here, but you see this in a lot of Hispanic construction crews. They don't care. It's not about stressing to get the job done. The job's gonna get done, and they're gonna make sure it gets done. Some of them might do bad jobs, some of them might do good jobs. You know, workers are workers. People do what they do. Man, I gotta get some cover. I'm over here getting grenaded out the game. This is hard on heroic mode, man. I feel like I should change the difficulty for now, but I might keep playing. I just gotta get better at this. But yeah, you have those Hispanic workers who are just like, hey man, like, where y'all want to eat? What do y'all want to eat? Y'all want to go get some like fresh to eat? And, you know, some of those construction sites are like, hey, we bought pizza for everyone. It's like, take your pizza and shove it, man. For real, you don't want it. Is it homemade? No. Oh, you know, too bad. You know, and it just sucks. It sucks, you know. And they're like, oh, we bought a Whataburger for everybody. It's like, shove your Whataburger, yeah, you know, yeah, same place. But man, you go on some of these Hispanic crews, man, I'm just, you're like, oh yeah, stereotypical stereotype. It's like, no, you guys are cool, man. You guys are cool as hell, man. It's like, hey, it's Friday, bro. It's like, yeah, what are you doing? It's like, I don't know. It's like, dude, it wasn't a question. Go put your fancy clothes on. It's like, what do you mean? Really? Oh, you don't even know what you want to do with your life, man. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, come on, it's time to go out. It's like, oh, I don't go to the club. It's like, stupid. We're not going to the club to go see girls. We're not going to the club to go to the club. We're just going somewhere where we can all hang out, man. We can get some drinks. You know, we can look out for each other. And, you know, we can make sure we all get home safely and just go have some fun, man. And then enjoy the weekend and then, you know, go out. And then during the day, you know, when y'all work during the week, it's like, no one's gonna rush you. I mean, unless you're just being dumb, you know? It's like, hey man, hand me this. All right, cool, yeah. Hey, you got that? Yeah, all right, cool, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get this together. Yeah, what about that over there? Oh, well, this guy and that guy are gonna come help us in a minute, but they're building that. Like, all right, cool, great, this is good, yeah. Hey, yeah. Hey, you know Jose? Yeah, yeah. He said, fuck you. What? Why you tell me that? Like, I'm telling you, said fuck you back. Yeah, yeah. He said, yeah, yeah, fuck you back. He's like, oh yeah? He's like, well, I want better. Yeah, fuck you, I'm buying you tacos. It's like, well, fuck you, I'm buying you tacos too. It's like, bet. You ain't buying me drinks, I'm buying us drinks. So yeah, fuck you. It's like, cool. You know? And, it's like, these guys are cool, you know? But, when they're like, hey guys, we brought y'all food. It's like, oh, you brought us food, or what'd you bring? Oh, well, so-and-so's wife got together with so-and-so's wife, and they made us a whole bunch of, tamales and enchiladas. It's like, no fucking way. It's like, yeah, man, come on, bro. Come on, they got a big thing of barbacoa coming too, man. It's like, oh, hell yeah. It's like, how often y'all do this? Like, oh, like once a month. It's like, oh, yeah. And on holidays. It's like, yeah, this is cool. You know, and sometimes they might ask you, like, hey, man, you want to do something? We'll make something. It's like, it's cool. But all these guys help each other out. You know, your truck breaks down. Oh, hope you get it fixed. It's like, no, hey, man, hey, no, I know a tire guy. I know this guy. No, dude, shut up. Put your wallet away. No, we're going to figure this out. You know, they're cool. They'll help each other. So you got that really nice, you know, bonded mindset of, if you were going to be a construction worker, where do you want to work? And people always see that mean image of, man, I hate my job. And then you go to some of these crews and you're like, man, why aren't all crews this nice? And the thing is that's just the mentality. People forget how to be happy, and there's these guys that know how to be happy. I don't understand it's Hispanic crews. It's just, if you're in a country like America, you see it more in them. I'm not saying you don't see it in other, you know, ethnicities. It's more commonly there, and it's more commonly around where I'm at. You know, I'm in the southern United States, so I see it more here, and that's pretty cool. You know, I know some people say they're lazy. I'm like, yeah, everybody's lazy. Yeah, but there's also a lot of people who are hard workers too, and you want to say these guys are lazy. Well, I don't know. There's the lazy ones are the ones that aren't working, or I wouldn't say the ones that aren't, not the ones that can't, but the ones that just are choosing not to because they can. But that's a whole nother topic I don't really care for. But yeah, it's just the perspective of looking back at life. And for me, I couldn't figure that out. I was like, I want to do welding. No, I don't like welding. I want to do computers. No, I don't fucking like computers. People were like, you shouldn't turn your hobby into your career. And I was like, I don't even think that's it either. I think your hobby can be your career. You just gotta figure out what stresses you and how to separate it from the hobby itself. Like, nobody likes billing and coding, shipping and receiving, logistics, or anything about that. They probably like creating guns, you know? You know, they probably don't like the financial part and the taxes part and all that stuff. They probably like designing and building and making and, you know, selling guns to people, you know, for the community. And the thing is they're like, man, I don't like building guns no more. Why? It used to be fun. How does he always kill me in one hit, man? Dang, mine went blank there for a second. But yeah, it's something you can look back on. What keeps you happy? And for me, that's kind of like this. But I ask my friends, like, hey, how much can you like spend a week? And they're like, what do you mean? Living. Stuck on the zipper on my jacket. Like, what are you looking for in life? You know? What are you looking for? I was like, I don't know. It's like, no, you're looking for peace. Peace isn't there. Peace doesn't come naturally, man. Chaos is... This guy, Chaos. Just comes. Oh, there's two of them. Get a grenade, man. How? Yeah, anyway, I'm getting into this weird philosophical-ishy speech. Uh, yeah, and I asked, like, friends, like, what do they got? And they're just like, oh, I don't got it. I'm like, how? Why? You know, and it's so stressing. And at this point, you know, that whole NPC thing, like, everybody's an NPC. It's like, I kind of see that, but not in the way, like, people are just like drones. Just everybody is, like, in a whole another world than what I'm living in. And there are some people that kind of understand, like, where I'm at, and they kind of live the same way. But to just not the exactly the same extent. You know, they say they kind of put money away, but they don't actually measure how or why or where it's going, or if it's even going to work. They just say it works so far. Sorry, stretching. And all right, how do I get rid of this guy? Took one for the team. Yeah, this guy really sucks. But yeah, generally, my friends have nothing. They just kind of like, it's not that they don't have nothing. It's just they they say they have nothing, but that was pretty deep. They say they have nothing, but they absolutely have something. And the thing is, they blow their money, and then they get jealous, and it's like, I ask them, like, how much do you make a year? You know, I'm not trying to like pick them pride. They're like, oh, look, 120,000. I'm like, God dang, how are you broke? And it's lifestyle inflation, man. You know, they just keep spending more and more because that's what's gonna get them to the end goal to be happy. But you gotta think, you gotta really watch like YouTube and Twitch, and you see a lot of these guys. Some of them like just expect to get more money, you know. Some of them just want more money, and at the end of the day, they're just like still not happy because as soon as you like strip it back and they're still making $1 million a year, they're just, oh my God, I'm poor, everyone. You know, I'm not trying to make fun of everybody. You know, I don't know what you got going on, but it's just like that's why you feel like that. Like again, me, I just recently had my income cut in half. And they're like, you doing okay? My friends are like, are you doing alright? And I was like, I appreciate the courtesy of looking into my life, but screw off. Like, no, I'm just playing. They're like, hey man, how you doing? Good. You know, we know you took a, you know, a huge income hit. And I'm like, it's like, nah, I'm good. Like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, everything's still the same. And they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, I told you, I have things on a budget. Everything's just extra income that can go towards more investments that aren't really necessary. And yeah, that's cool. The other ones are still growing, but I just can't put in towards them right now. And in all reality, things have still continued growing to where I've actually made more money than before I got my income cut. So it's like I don't know, money's weird, man. It's just a tool, guys. Once you get it to a point where it's stable, you kind of don't worry about it. And if you lose it all, you kind of know how to more or less get it back. And it takes time. Kind of like tools. They didn't start off with the chainsaw. They didn't even start off with the saw. You know? And now we've got stuff that can just cut down trees like nothing, you know? But it took time. If we were to lose all the chainsaws in the world, could we make them again? Yeah, because we know how to. We have the resources and the ability all the way around us to have it done again. And it's kind of the same thing, I guess, with cash. And this isn't supposed to be a cash video, guys. It's just me giving an update to what's been going on with my life. And that's really kind of the problem. It's like I'd been focused on how to get money here, how to get money here, how to keep moving this there, and how to. And I was just filling up like every little gap of time that I got to myself. I just kept spending it on how can I focus towards making more income. And it was, oh god, this guy is all this can be. Man, I cannot get this guy for nothing. But yeah, and that's when I see myself like, hey, you're that guy who's trading your time for money again. It's like, yeah, but I need to get here. But it's like you already did the reduction. You went from 80 hours a week to 60 hours a week to now you're at a comfortable pace. And it's like, what were you fighting for in the first place? It's like at first I just wanted a computer and I got a computer. Now I've got a computer like everybody wants. Not everybody, because some people have more money. But that's not the goal. We're looking at the average person, and most people don't have computers because they can't afford them. They can't even afford a PlayStation 5. You know, I know that sounds funny to say, like, especially me, because I was at a point where I was like 700. Yeah, I'll never afford that shit. But now it's like, I wanted to just buy it, I can just go buy it. I seen a kid there, Mom, please get up, buy it, get up, buy it. Hey, man, like, you just don't want to buy this for him because you can't afford it, or you just don't want to buy it because he doesn't deserve it. Oh, he deserves it, I just can't afford it. Okay, cool. Hey, kid, you want a PS5? Yeah, here's a PS5. It's like, you're just gonna do it? It's like, it's not really gonna hurt me, I can afford it. It's like, but yeah, but you could, no, a lot of this money's in this account, and I felt like buying a PS5, and there's no more money here. It's like, hey, kid, you want a PS5? Yeah, here you know, I do that sometimes when I go into stores. It's usually with homeless people. I did the other day too, and people kind of looked at me funny. I'm just like walking in, I'm like, do. Hey man, and he's like, hey man, what's up? I'm like, want some coffee? He's like, yeah. I'm like, let's get some coffee, man. Like, wait, you're gonna get coffee? I'm like, yeah, come on, let's go on. Get your coffee, whatever you want. Come on, let's get some coffee. Cappuccino, latte, I don't care, whatever you want. Come on, let's get some coffee. That's coffee. You know, people are like, oh, you're trying to, to show off. It's like, no, man. I know how I felt if I was in that position. Plus, what used to make me feel good when I was a kid? Just out of nowhere, your mom, your dad's like, hey, you want ice cream? You're like, oh, hell yeah. If you're homeless, you expect people to like tell you no for money or just like give you a little bit of cash. But it feels really good when someone's like, hey, what's up? Yeah, you like Chick-fil-A? Yeah, bro, here's some Chick-fil-A. It's like, what? What? Seriously? It's like, yep. I even brought Starbucks. You'd be like, no fucking way, bro. You're cool as shit. It's not always about money. And the homeless people that say, oh, I want money instead, screw you. Yeah, they haven't found that happy place yet, But I get it. We got our ways. But no, like, it's stuff like that. I can kind of just do my thing. I'm not really too worried about it no more. And I basically put myself into a position to where people are like, I wish I could always be a kid. And it's like, I kinda can. I kinda can. I don't want to I do. I don't want to, I want to spend, 20 hours a day on a video game. But at the same time, I don't, because I know I'll start to kill the nostalgia of the game for me. So, I can kind of switch games. That sucks. Yeah, it'll kill the kind of the nostalgia of the game. Or, people are like, oh, you can just switch games. It's like, but I don't I don't want to. Uh, but you do that, you put restrictions on things, and then it's like, okay, well, I can spend part of the day working. It's like, what can I do while I'm working? Well, I finally got to a position that I was kind of complaining about before, but really the only thing I'm arguing about is the hours. But I do get weekends off, so that's nice. Um, I don't make a lot, but I'm making a decent wage. Being worked like a corporate worker, I'm not exactly in corporate conditions or get the best corporate benefits, but I'm in a position now to where it's a job that most people would be embarrassed of, if anything, if I'm going to be honest. Um, not going to put no full disclosure out there. And I'm not saying like, oh yeah, he's a porn star. No, nothing like that. I'm doing a service-based job, but it's one people look down upon. Because they're like, oh, you're lower class. It's like, well, yeah, well, I'm making more money than you. Um, but I don't really get dirty. I mean, my hands get a little bit dirty. My clothes. I mean, I thought about getting a jumpsuit, but I don't even need a jumpsuit. I don't even get dirty, man. The air is clean now, so I can actually be around clean air. That's nice. And as much as I hate to say it, I'm sitting down 90% of the day. People are like, yeah, but you're breaking your fingers at a keyboard. It's like, no. No, I'm not. I'm not at all. I'm more or less like, I'm like a Pokedex. Like, a guy does a job and they just like carry me along. They're like, ask questions like, hey, what is this? This is this, and this. Yeah, but okay, I like, but what part, what section, and what are the notes? This. It's like, oh, so you're an assistant. I'm like, yeah, pretty much. And it pays the same. They said I'll probably be getting more than what I was making previously, and I was doing a bit of a heavy labor job before. Don't you? I think I need a health pack. I'm a ditch. Oh man. Get this, I'm going into the woods. These guys are evil. Blow up already. Yeah. It's a pretty decent job where I'm at now. And there is room because my last job I was doing CNC. I think I talked about that with y'all. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. And it was pretty cool, you know. It was quiet, work by yourself, but it was still dirty, you know. And I liked it. Made pretty good money. But now, because of this new job, I'm actually making. Yes, I'm working more hours, but like the way the schedule is compiled, I'm actually working during the day, so it's a lot more comfortable. It's a lot more leisure, and I'm making the same money that I was being broken in half doing a CNC labor job. You know, am I driving the same? Yeah, I'm still having to drive the same to get to that job. But when it comes down to it, hours worked per week, I'm back to about 50. In reality, it's like, oh, is this what you would be working if you had your own business? More or less, kinda. Are you making about the same income you'd expect to make? Yeah. Would I get raises in the future? Probably not, you know, because it's not my business. But at the same time, now I can save for my business. And, I'm not being, like, strung apart, man. I'm literally sitting down 95% of my day. And the way it's structured, like, if I want to have an 8-hour day, I can have an 8-hour day. I can have a 6-hour day. That's what's wild. You know, it's like, here's your workload. Is it possible to get it done in 6 hours? Yes. No one's going to drive themselves mad. Not get it done in 6 hours. But can you comfortably get it done in 8 hours? I mean, if you kind of put some effort into it, yeah. But, 10 hours is about the norm. You know? You know, and that's like being like really leisurely, like I've looked at like our to-do list and it's like, yo bro, we're about 50% of the way there. It's like yeah, we're about 50% of the way there. Like, oh, okay, cool. And I was like, what time is it? It's like, bro, we only have 4 hours for the day. He's like, oh, maybe we should slow down? It's like, no, we'll just keep doing it, you know? And it's like, so we got about 50% left. It's like, no, we got about 10% left. It's like, I thought you said we were 50% of the way done. It's like, yeah, I was guesstimating. It's like, we're almost done. We'll be done before lunch break. It's like, so 8 hours today, huh? It's like, yeah, probably. Probably 8 hours today. It's like we're going a little bit too fast, even though we're not going fast at all. You know what I mean? How? One shot. How? That's a bull. But yeah, it's it's been pretty cool, you know, like working this shop, and I was mad at first because I was like, I don't want more hours. I need my free time. I need this, but I was like, you know what? Fuck this. I was like, if they want me to do it, I'll do it. But I want Saturdays off. I don't want y'all to stretch my hours out. If you're gonna give me more hours, pack them all into a short period so I can get them over with. They're like, yeah, we can do that. Wait, really? They're like, yeah. They're like, you'll work Saturdays, but I'm like, how often? They're like, look, we'll be honest with you. If you really want to actually work Saturdays, you might only get like 2 or 3 a year. I'm like, no, I don't want Saturdays. They're like, okay, well, you're probably gonna be working like 12 hours days, you know, that's how most people run it. I'm like, it's about like the max I want. They're like, well, you can get it done in 8. I'm not saying you can't. Oh, really? They're like, yeah, you can run it down to the longest 14. I'm like, so I can get more hours? They're like, yeah. I'm like, this is actually nice. I do have to show up at the same time every day, though. You know, I can't just willy-nilly stretch my schedule, you know. Dang it. But what I can do is kind of, you know, work comfortably. It's like, hey, if I don't feel like really working today, and the partner I'm working with is like, yeah, I don't feel like working today either. It's like, are you good for hours? I'm like, and they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool. Because me, I want the least amount. I'm like, the minimum of what we would get is like what I'm more than happily comfortable can afford to live on. You know, so I'm not really tripping. And before you say, oh, you must make a lot of money, I don't. I don't. I'm just making about the same as what I did doing CNC now. You know, on the minimum. And then if I do the maximum, holy crap, I'm just making ungodly more amount than I actually need. They're like, but you can buy Gucci clothes. It's like, I don't care for Gucci clothes. It's like clothes that look cool. Like, I'm wearing a jacket right now. I think it's freaking awesome. I'm pretty sure it was bought off goddamn Wish. You know? No way. Get away from me. He's trying to murder me. I'm dead. But yeah, no, it's a new job. It gives me a lot more leisure, and I enjoy it. You know. Does it feel like a lifetime sentence in like jail or something? Like, yeah, kind of, because you kind of can't stop. It's like, how do you stop this? Like, oh, you quit. Like, what do you mean? Like, you quit? It's like, oh, dang. Well, from what I was told, they said my position. I was like, they're like, you can switch companies with this position once you got enough experience, and they have it at other companies. I'm like, wait, really? They're like, yeah. It's like, oh, I didn't even know this was like an actual skilled like job. Like, no, your job is an actual position for other companies. I'm like, no way, no way. And what's so bad about it is I don't know if I'm being punished or rewarded because they said some people hate it, which I can understand why, but I don't mind. Um, but when they asked my current supervisor, like, hey, what if he turns down a position, like, say he doesn't want the promotion, and you know, because they needed help, and they were like, hey, do you got somebody who can do this job? I'm like, oh yeah, he can do it. He knows how to do it. He's pretty smart. And they're like, are you pretty technical? Are you pretty smart? You know, you good with electronics and you know technology? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. And they're like, okay, well, then you're the guy, man. Do you want the position? We'll talk about everything. They kind of gave me the rundown, and I took it. Well, they asked my supervisor, like, hey, well, what did you want to do with him if he decided not to take it? And did you want to move him back to his old position, or did you have another spot you want to promote him to? And he's like, no, yeah, just fire him. And everybody kind of looks surprised, like, fire him? It's like, yeah, just let him go. They were like, okay, well, all right, we'll keep that in mind. After it was over, they were like, okay, so if he turns down the position, go ahead and fire him, right? And they were like, yeah, we're just not gonna mention that to him. Let's just hope he says yes. And luckily, I said yes. I'm like, that's just eye-opening. Now I see where they stand in the company, at least that person. The people who were offering me the position, it's another part of the company, and they were just like more than happy to have me as far as I know. So they seem pretty nice. They're really nice to me, I mean, I like them. I think they're pretty cool. And I just hope they're not, someone's dropping my mic. I hope they're not like my last supervisor. And I thought he was a good guy. I know he could be a little bit dramatic at times, but he seemed like a genuinely nice he seemed like a genuinely nice person, but as it turns out, he doesn't care. He'll throw you out on the street. Yeah, it really kind of upset me because I see more out of this person. And I think he knows that I know what he said because now he's completely avoiding me anytime I go to that side of the company. But I'm not worried about him. I guess he thought I was going to say no because I said I kind of disliked the idea of that position. And what makes me mad is I originally started working there so I can go to school. And so I can have time. So you're just going to throw me out so I can't afford or go to school anymore? That's terrible, man. You don't have no thought process behind the person you hire. And I'm not saying like we got thousands of employees. We don't. I think we have like on our side of the company like 15 employees. So it's like it's a team. So for him to just be like, yeah, that's fine. Everyone's kind of surprised, like, oh wow. Is there a reason why? There's no reason. Not my performance, nothing else. Everybody genuinely likes the way I work and how I work, and I'm willing to do more and come in and just do whatever. I never fail to provide, And now that I'm here in this position, they were telling me that I can go to another company eventually, and I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was like, yeah, but I guess these bigger companies like this, they probably make you work harder and a lot faster. Like, that's just not a bad thing, And they were like, oh, no, it's not what you're thinking. I was like, oh, they basically make you want to quit, huh? He's like, oh, no, they work slower. Slower? You're like, yeah, you're going to have even less work than you do here. I'm like, I already have almost no work. They're like, nah, you go there, man, you're locked in, you're going to have a stable job. It's very safe, very clean, very quiet. Most of the time, nothing breaks down. Everything's correct. You'll have everything you need. I'm like, yeah. They're like, oh, and you make a lot more money. I'm like, well, I'm already making a lot of money. They're like, no, you make a lot more money. Well, maybe something good actually fell into my lap. Am I working a lot of hours? I know some people are like 35 hours or less. Is that part-time? And you don't get benefits, and then 40 hours is full-time. I'm like, that's a 5-hour gap. That's nothing. And then some people are like, 45, that's a death sentence. I'm like, what? It's nothing. But on average, I'll be working around, depending on how things go, 45 and 50 hours a week, unless things are bad, 55. And honestly, I'm okay with that, because I used to work 80 and still make time for myself, but when I was running 60, it was cool. I just didn't like the fact that I had to still work on Saturday, because it just kind of messed up schedules. It's like, I had time in the day, but just like, not enough, and then I still lost my weekend. So now it's like I can get those same hours. Yeah, so it's like I can get those same hours, but utilize my time properly throughout the week, and not be so slacky, because now it's not like, oh, you have a little bit but not enough. It's like, now I have a little bit but I know it's a little bit, so I'm not going to plan on doing any long-term things, and I can just kind of focus on the less monotonous things in life, and just know that I'm going to have them done on a list in a day, and then I can spend like an hour or two to myself a day and just kind of enjoy. Maybe I want to create some shorts, maybe I just want to like bake a cake on the side or something, or play with my cat, and because I do those things throughout the week, so I kind of give myself a nice little scheduled week and live. And people are like, oh, that sucks, 9 to 5. It's like, yeah, but I'm still taking a good chunk of my week, 2 days, Saturday and Sunday completely, and I still got the afternoon, because I'm getting off on Fridays. Most people are getting off earlier, I'm still getting off between 1 p.m. all the way to as late as 3 p.m. That's still pretty good. That's pretty good. I get most of my Friday, I get my Saturday and my Sunday. So it's like I'm getting 2 days, or I guess I'd say like 2.5 days. You'd say a week off out of 7. It's about a 30% deal, you know? Like, I'm not complaining. You know, how would you feel if you had 30% of the week off? A lot of people don't get that, and I'm making this type of money. Like, I got a good opportunity. And then what they told me, they were like, hey, you know, you can actually move up to this position. I'm like, yeah, that's a little bit more work. They're like, is it really though? You have an assistant doing most of it for you. I'm like, that's not. And they're like, exactly. I'm like, no. They're like, yeah, you're a little bit more hands on, but you don't got to do the grunt work. I'm like, this ain't even grunt work. This is too easy. People consider this grunt work. They're like, yeah, you're basically a secretary. I'm like, this is easy. You know? They're like, there's a little bit of labor. I'm like, this is not labor. This is a joke. This is labor. Hey, if you can, would you mind opening that door? It's like, no, I wanna. It's like that's like the extent of my labor. You know, and I'm not bragging about it. I'm just saying I'm happy because I've worked so hard for so long. I know that other people deserve this, but you know, I asked for it. I didn't want it, but it's actually what I needed. And if I move into this other position, it's like I'll be doing a little bit more of the labor's part and have an assistant. And I can eventually get to a point where I don't even need an assistant, it just depends. Wait, you asshole. Okay, one down. Ooh. But yeah, if I get this other position, I hear some people basically making the same as what I'm making. But then I had to really think about it. I'm like, well, pay for like insurance through this company or those benefits. And when I talk to them about it, I'm like, oh, how much are you paying for your benefits? Like, for my all this, you know, I get the maximum family plan, and like, you know, I don't got kids or nothing. And I'm like, uh, you know, I'm like, they're like, oh, like, how much does it cost after that? Like, you know, uh, a month. They're like, oh, they take it out every week. I'm like, oh, how much is it? They're like, oh, it's $700. I'm like, okay, well, that's a little bit of a chunk. I'm like, so they're basically taking out like $2,800. I'm like, so, well, okay, so yeah, you're making a lot more money. You're making, ooh, yeah, you're making a lot more money. Yeah. But you know, I'm not trying to brag. I'm not making shit, you know. But they're making a little bit of a chunk. You know, a little bit of a chunk more than me. So I mean, you know, I don't need an extra $2,800 a month, but hell, an extra 1,000 would be cool. Extra 2,000, nice. You know, but I'm not gonna say how much I'm making, but when it comes to uh, the average income in America, um, above the, I guess you'd say the median line. You could go to the in between, depending on where you look. I don't know. At this point, I'm above 50K a year. I'll just say that by myself, and I don't really owe money. And I have other investments that bring in income for other investments, so they kind of just keep growing on their own. But it's kind of like, you know, like people are like, oh, you know, I put away $100, you know, a month, you know, in my savings. It's like, yeah, well, I put $100 a month into this savings. Like, oh, cool. Well, how much do you got now? Well, it's been 3 months, so I got $300. It's like, oh, that's cool. What about you? You spend yours? It's like, nope. I've been saving $100 a month for 3 months, and I now have $1,000. It's like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. It's like, oh, I invested it, and now it's a spendable account, so I can spend it. And the tax on it is 10% if I hold it for over a year, which I've cycled through already, so I don't got to pay that capital gains tax, or that heavier capital gains tax. And it's, I guess when people say like, how much do you make? And I'm just gonna give an example. Say I make $10 an hour. In reality, by the time I actually come to spend it because I invested it, my $100 is more or less like worth like $35 to $40. You know, and to be told, hey, I'm gonna basically be making more money. It's like, well, what do you do with the extra money? It's like, I invest it. You know, and it's like, in what? My spend accounts. Like, oh, it's like, yeah. It's like, so yeah, I don't really worry. They grow slow, but they cycled out, and they cycled to a point where when I actually draw from them, like, okay, last year, how much money did you put away to, do repairs on your car? And it's like, I put away like $2,500, just for repairs and stuff. It's like, okay, well, from then to the time you go to spend it, roughly how much is that $25 worth? Oh, it's like, well, after a 2 year period, and it's like, well, like I said, I worked on this for a while, and now I'm actually kind of at that point. God dang, it's so hard. Now that I'm kind of at that cycle, at that point, it's like, well, how much do you actually have in the account? Oh, well, I mean, if things go bad, or in a bad area, it's like my 2,500 I saved is sitting around 3,200. After 2 years, it's like, oh, well, what about in a good spot? It's like, oh, well, that same 2,500 could be anywhere from like 45 to 5,200. It's like, oh, it's like, yeah, so that money kind of doubled, but it's in a safer account, so it doesn't grow as fast. It's like, why? It's like, because I gotta have, stuff in my car. But when it comes to like electronic savings fund, it's like, I don't need the electronics. They're nice to have. You know what I mean? It's like they're nice to have, but I don't need them. So I put those in a riskier account, and they grow a little bit faster. Oh, it's so close. Yeah, they grow a little bit faster, so it makes it easier. So in reality, the money that I'm making isn't actually the money I'm making. So people are like, like when I was making $10 an hour, people are like, how are you so comfortable making $10 an hour? I can barely survive. It's like, well, I lived like a grunt for like the first year of my little investment journey, and then I started pulling from it. I'm like, well, my $10 is actually worth, $14. It's like, oh, that's not bad. It's like that's not bad. And now where I'm at now, it's like, give me $10. Yeah, why? By the end of the year, it's gonna be worth about $20. It's like, okay. What about when you go to spend it? By then, it's already worth at least 35 to 40. It's like, oh, shit. So yeah, basically, I'm making a lot more in reality. It's like it's a lag. It's like getting a paycheck 2 weeks later. Like, you know how people you'll work and they'll go, hey, your paycheck for this, your paycheck that you're getting this week is actually for the work you did last week. It's kind of like that, except for my stuff's offset by like 2 years. And people are like, oh, dang, that's terrible. It's like, no, not really. It's like, because I put that income away and I lived bare minimum in the dirt for that time and let those investments grow. And does it swing with the market? Yes, it does. It does swing with the market. But my bills are paid immediately, and those have spend accounts as of right now. So I don't got to worry about those. It's not like I'm inflating to spend on my bills. But at the rate of growth for like my bills accounts and everything going up, um, the regular banking accounts that I have, their interest rates keep up with that. So I don't even worry about that. The cost of living, my income will rise with it. So I'm not too worried about it. Could there be a collapse? Yeah, and I just go and drown. Yeah, but I'm gonna be drowning with everybody, so it's okay. But if I can be comfortable, I'm gonna be comfortable. And oh god, he got me. He got me. He got me. Eat a grenade. How do they shoot me one time and I die? It's not fair. But yeah, it's kind of gotten to this point to where it's like it's really nice. Is it something that I learned from something on YouTube? No. Is it something that somebody told me? No, not at all. Do I wish people told me this in the past? Yeah. Is it guaranteed? Is this a solid solution for people to follow? Probably not. I don't know. I'm not an expert in this crap, but it works for me, man. Everybody's got to kind of find their way in life, and it's kind of what I figured out. And it's it's kind of like somebody like saying, "I want to be a YouTuber," and they finally become a big YouTuber, and you're like, "Oh my god, my life changed! I'm so happy." It's like, congratulations, man. That's great. You finally got to the point you wanted, and I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not there yet. I can see it's still a good ways away, but it's like, dude, you're already feeling the sunshine, the rays on your skin, the reward that's there. It's already starting, you know, dawn on you, and it's cool. I mean, could something catastrophic happen and dip this into the dirt? It's like, yeah, but I mean, that could happen with YouTube too. A dude could get 2 million followers and be like, guys, I'm finally becoming a big. And it's like banned. What? What? No. But um, yeah, be a loser like me and keep dying. uh, but yeah, I'm getting to see that light at the end of the tunnel, and it's like it's cool. Like, I don't even look at the stock market like it's something to make money off of. I just look at it like it's a fluctuating bank account. It's like, well, so you're making $10. Let's say you're making $10 an hour. Where I was the point is like, could you live on seven? It's like, well, that's kind of what I budgeted myself out to. It's like, bro, you're living in like dirt. It's like, no, because in the investment market, the way I fluctuated it, you 3x it. As of right now, I can live off 3x that. So I can live off if I was making $21 an hour, and I can happily spend every bit of that income because the rest of it's remaining over. It's just going to continue to staying in the account and growing. It's like, so I'm actually not spending none of my money that I actually earned 2 years ago. It's like, that's insane. Um, but then they go, well, what if the market drops? Well, even if it drops 50%, the account's still higher than the amount that I put in. You know what I mean? So it's like, well, then you have to spend less. It's like, no, I'd be spending my same amount. You know, it's like, well, what if it goes below? It's like, then I don't put it in the market and I just spend my regular paycheck. It's like, but how are you gonna? Because the money that I'm investing in the market is part of the money that I'm spending, but my regular spending is being pulled now. Already went through the dirt phase. I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to explain, but it's like, as long as I stay on the percentage or the budget of my, or not even the percentage, the amount of money that I'm spending, and I don't go up, you know, I'm still gonna account for inflation and whatnot. Then I'm fine. Yeah, I don't have lifestyle inflation. Kind of gotten to a point where I'm happy. Again, the whole kid thing. If you were to give a kid, if you were to walk a kid, parents, if you were to walk a kid into your bedroom and said, "This is yours now. What's mine? What's mine, Mom? What's mine, Dad? You see the computer over there? Yeah, that's yours." She'd be like, "Oh my God." You see the car in the driveway? It's yours. She'd be like, "Oh my God." Like, "Jimmy, the house is yours too." "Oh my God, Mom." Yeah, I knew Jimmy's gonna react. He'd be like, "Jimmy, you want money?" It's like, "Can I get an allowance?" Like, "You can get this much." Jimmy would be like, "Holy shit, man, I got this and this and this." It's like, "Yep, you only have to do one thing." "Well, what is that?" "A couple of chores, and this is yours." It's like, "Really? But is it guaranteed?" It's like, "It's guaranteed." Oh God, they're coming for me. They make this so hard. But anyway, like I was saying, if something does happen to where I can get like one of these future promotion positions, I mean, even now I'm already gonna be would have been a lot better. Like, I can actually like splurge a little bit, but I'm not. I've actually got some plans that I already won in line that I can just get to faster. I can forward them from 3 years to 1 year now, and the current events that I wanted to do within the next year, I can actually do in the next 4 months. So it's like, oh, it's like if it isn't gonna cave if you know it's not like everything's already been budgeted for and put out. And people are like, man, I wish I had that. I'm like, yeah, and it took me years to get this set up. I mean, it's been about 4 years, guys, and I don't know too many people that would have that dedication. 4 years, man, that's high school. 4 years, that's college. That's college. That's a long time. I spent 4 years day in and day out. People are like, people do that with YouTube. It's like, yeah, but I didn't know my finances. And did I go to school for financing? No, I didn't. But I kind of understand how they work. I was kind of curious about money when I was younger, and not about getting rich. Just like, how does it work, and why do some people get to print money, and how does the government do this stuff? And I kind of get it. And I feel like a lot of it's a cheat system. Like, I'm not gonna lie, America will never go broke if we keep printing our own money. The Americans will go broke, but America won't go broke. If that makes sense. You know, it's kind of like if Walmart keeps doing 50% off everything, the company, the products in Walmart, they're gonna close down, but Walmart themselves won't close down. If that, you know what I mean? Like, they'll stay rich. So it's kind of that same concept. And I hope people can get to this point in their life. And I can say I'm fortunate, but also unfortunate, because some of my friends have kids now, which is kind of scary. Um, and they say they're struggling because they're trying to figure things out. And I mean, that's like a scarier deal for me. You know, I don't even know the first step to take care of a kid. I can take care of a cat, and they're the same thing. They meow and whine and want shit and shit on everything, and bye. And they always want you to hold them. Yeah, they want you to hold them. I don't know if kids like head pets, but Yeah, I got you. Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Oh man, come on. This guy's a headache. I don't know if he's dead or not. That's bull. I tried hard that time, man. But yeah, I just kind of feel like it's not real, and I get it, man. People are like, live it up. It can collapse at any time, and I mean, it can, and there's a good chance that was gonna happen. And the only reason why I'm even getting to do any of this could possibly be just because of how the market's been the past few years, and it has been record breaking. And this probably won't happen again, or it'll get even better. I don't know, man. I just know for now this works, and I got a really nice cushion to sit on for a little bit if something does happen. And getting put in this position, it's like, well, you hit all the goals most people want, man. You got a vehicle that's paid off. You can go get another one. Think about going to get a motorcycle now. I'm not like, oh, just go. You got $8,000, go spend it. It's like, oh, how can I make money off of buying a motorcycle? I'm gonna say it like this. This is how I would make money off buying a motorcycle. Buy the bike. I'm already gonna have the money. They're like, oh, then how do you get the motorcycle? People want to get a motorcycle for free and then somehow make money off of it. That's not what you do. Sorry, I don't know if that exists. That might. I'm not the guy to ask for that. This is what I do. Um, say the motorcycle's $8,000. Okay. And I know not everybody can do this, but like I guess once you have money, I guess if you have money, it's easier to save money. You know, you hold that whole story. And if you have no money, everything costs more. That's not a joke. You know, which honestly, I should switch my insurance to. I pay it monthly. I really shouldn't. I could save like $100 by just paying it once. It's 100. Oh shit! He slid up on me. I died. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like I'm gonna have more income to come in and do things, but I'm also gonna have more time. So I get to start more of these little projects. And it's just like I told my mom like a year ago. So I'm not really public about my money or my income. I know people that make more than me, but they still stress, so I don't really ever talk about it because it kind of makes people mad when you tell them, hey, I make less money a year, but I know how to make it stretch, and they're like, what? And I'm just like, sorry, you didn't think that way. But I don't know. I just have my ways of doing things, and I guess after you bought a house and you bought a car and you've got a computer, not a computer you want. Everybody, wants the top of the line, everything. But if I said, hey man, do you want a 4K computer with the most expensive 50-inch screen laptops, and then, yeah, movie theater. It's like, okay, you're asking for goddamn dreams. Let's be real. Like right now I'm sitting with two 30-inch monitors. I was happy with my 17 inches, but now that I've been playing with the 17, like these are because I can actually set them a little bit further back, so that's not too bad, and it gives me a little bit of an easier viewpoint, so I'm gonna turn my head as much with multiple screens. So bigger screens aren't too bad. Gives me a little bit more room in front of me, so I feel more comfortable. But I got two 30-inch, one horizontal, one vertical. And on the opposite side of the horizontal one, I got another vertical one, but it's only 24-inch, and that's my little one for small stuff going on. Basically like my chat screen. But I haven't started doing streaming, guys, so it's cool. People are like, hey, what kind of camera you got? I really probably should get a better camera, but I'm not streaming. I'm just making videos, but I use a GoPro. What's a better phone than iPhone? I'm not talking about like one of the cheap iPhone little SE thingies or whatever they are. Like if you got an iPhone 16 or an iPhone 15, an actual flagship, what's a better phone than that? It's like, I don't know, the Pro Max. What's better than Pro Max? What's better than iPhone? It's like, well, that's the flagship of the world. It's like, yeah, you're complaining you can't afford shit and you're broke, but you can already afford the world's best phone from one of the world's best brands. It's the same thing with Samsung. There's people around the world who can barely afford flip phones. So it's like, we really do have luxurious goods. And you're like, oh, what about the rich people around the world? What about the Saudis? Like, those guys were just extremely smart at investing, and they're getting some bank on an industry from, what they got, So it's whatever. Obviously politicians are gonna have money, and that's basically what a lot of those guys you see are. They're politicians. And or big figureheads, I don't know what you want to call them. And they got money, man, but as far as like the everyday person like me and you just gotta find a way, man. And I made a video on it before, people getting by. I was like, people are trying to figure out how they're getting a house. I was like, forget getting a house, figure out if you can get a car. I'm not trying to be an asshole like saying that, but what you gotta look at is if prices on everything are going up, well, just focus on getting a car because eventually it's not going to be obtainable. But what about a house? It's like, dude, if you already know you can't get one, screw the house. Let's find an alternative before an alternative doesn't exist, because once everybody else finds it, you're done. Like they're going to inflate that, and they kind of already are. I mean, you see what they're doing with the mobile van deal. People started doing like living in vans. That's cool, but now companies come out doing it, and now think about once that becomes privatized and a firm takes over and they just start doing van builds. and the price of van builds go through the roof, and the price of vans go through the roof, and you're like, dang, I can't afford a house. Hell, I can't even afford a van. You know? And then you're like, well, what about a car? It's like, it's already too late for a car. A car is too expensive too. And you should live in a box. I'm not trying to say it's gonna happen to everybody, but for the people in those positions, you know, you kind of get where I'm coming from. And people, I don't know why people care so much about status. Like, I mean, again, status is a great thing, but not everybody's going to be the president of the United States. I'm sorry. You know, that's like the greatest status in the world to have. Not everyone's going to have it. Just face the facts. If this is a race, man, like, I'm going to put in an example of a race. Okay? You got Usain Bolt, world's fastest man, or was, I don't know if he still is. He probably still is. You're like, I want to be that guy. I want to be that guy. Well, everybody's not going to be that guy. Let's just be real. You're probably not going to make it to the Olympics. Some of you can. Some of you might. Some of you probably will. You know, I'm not going to lie. Some of you probably will be the next world's fastest man or woman or cheetah man or Batman. But anyway, you go like, okay, well, I don't want to be the world's fastest man, or I do, but I know it's probably not obtainable. It's like, well, why do you say that? It's like, well, bro, I'm missing a toe. It's like, oh, okay, then maybe that might be a hindrance. It's like, or maybe I'm just not a fast runner, or maybe I just don't care about running, you know? But a very prestigious thing to be the world's fastest man. But you see Usain Bolt going, oh God, I hate my life. I hate my life so much. Why? I'm not the president of the United States of America. I'm also not the world's richest man. I also don't have a toilet made of gold. I also don't have a Grammy. I also don't have an Emmy. It's like, dude, you don't have to. Like, just find what you like and just become good at it. And even if you're not the best, hey, you know, it's what makes you happy. You know, at one point in the world, it was just like, hey, I'm the best in town. Then it was like, I'm the best in the city. Then I'm the best in the state. And now it's like, I'm the best in the world. And like, everybody competes with that. It's like, hey, man, let's just be happy at being good at stuff. Or, you know, whatever you want to be good at. You know? And, it's really all you have to look for in life, because everything else is going to stress you. And everything's going to seem unrealistic. And when you look at it like a race, if you look up and you're like, oh my God, that guy won the race. You're like, I want to be that guy. It's like, well, you already lost. It's like, what do you mean? He won the race. You weren't even paying attention. They said, ready, set, go. And this guy ran the whole track. And all the way around, you're sitting there like, oh, gold medal. Dang, I wish I could do that. It's like, you were in it. Then you see another guy win a gold medal, and it's like, hey, bro, when are you going to start running? It's like, I'm going to start running now. I'm going to race. And then you lose. You come in last place. You barely get, you know, halfway around the track, and you've already lost. It's like, man, I'm a loser. I'll never win. It's like, no, dude, you're facing veterans. You're facing guys who've been running this track for a long time. And then when they have kids, they teach their kids how to run the track and how to not trip or fall or be left behind and how to always win. So you're already at some competition. When you ask your parents, they're like, oh, I've always watched. I've never actually ran the track. I always just sit back and take the free popcorn. And it's like, oh, I mean, you could choose not to watch, but then you don't get free popcorn. Like, oh, dang, well, everybody needs the popcorn, man. Everybody needs the popcorn. Yeah, the winners, they get popcorn, medals, the women, nice houses and cars. It's like, yeah, man. It's like, that's just how it is sometimes. God dang, these guys don't want to die. Dang, I didn't know if I killed the other guy or if I blew him off, but I think I blew him off. Yeah, but when it comes to finding things that like you do and don't like, I know people are like, well, I don't know what makes me happy. Well, that's the thing. It's stop focusing so much on things that don't make you happy. I know that's hard to do sometimes. It really is. Like, well, I gotta go to work. I gotta make a living. It's like, are you going to work to make a living because you gotta go get your nails done? And you gotta go get a super awesome haircut. You gotta impress the ladies. And ladies, you gotta get the, you know, the best in Sephora makeup. Dang, I keep beating him in the head. He didn't die. You gotta get the best in Sephora makeup. You know, Yeah, no, you're just blowing your mind because at the end of the day, I don't know if you're wearing Walgreens makeup, Amazon makeup, um, or a Sephora makeup, or even Drunk Elephant. They make some nice stuff. I'm not gonna lie. Um, all these beauty products, and for guys, all these nice clothes and gadgets and gear, and you don't need it because you're just doing it to dress to impress because you're fighting over a girl who's really probably not even a catch in the first place. And if she is, hey, who am I to say she ain't? Um, there's things people obsess about, and they're like, well, I want to be rich. It's like, well, what do you focus on today? How to look nice. It's like, do you want to look nice or do you want to be rich? Oh, well, I want to look nice and be rich. Like, you can only afford one. No, I can't. I can afford both. And it's like, and now that's why you're broke, because you couldn't. But I want to be rich. It's like, you're just going to keep being broke, you know? So that's the thing. And it's like, for me, I just tell people I like nice things. I do. I like nice things. And they're like, oh, so you need money? It's like, no. No, definitely not. I mean, just because something's expensive doesn't mean it's nice. Doesn't mean you're getting quality or value. Just because you bought a shit box go-kart and you're like, hey, bro, I spent 90,000 on it. It's gonna beat your Corvette. No, it's not, bro. It's got 6 horsepower. Just because you spent more on it doesn't mean it's better. It's a piece of crap. But in the outlook of all things, when you really look at it, I actually made it. I made it. I made it, guys. I made it. I did it. I died. I died. Oh god, guys, that's crazy. Anyway. Um, Dang, I lost track of what I was saying. Oh yeah, price doesn't always mean things are nice, man. But generally, when you find something that's really nice, it's probably gonna cost money. But it doesn't always. Like I said, this jacket that I got, I freaking love it, dude. How much would I pay for this jacket? I'm not gonna lie, I'd probably spend. Let me see, what would be the most I would spend on this based on the material? The build, the quality. I don't know. Maybe like $100. Um, I don't absolutely love it, but god dang, I definitely like it a lot. So maybe 120. In reality, I could probably go buy this for like 30 to 50 bucks, but it's the market, man. And or like that's a cheap jacket. It's like, so I would never even touch your jacket. Your jacket looks like garbage. Bet you it's gonna rip by tomorrow, and half the time those things do. Half the time, people buy expensive. And I've bought expensive stuff, and it just doesn't last, man. I've bought stuff from Tommy Hilfiger, and Tommy Hilfiger's not bad. Don't get me wrong; they got some okay stuff. But I bought Coach stuff, and it just sometimes falls apart. It's so good for the price. I'll never buy Louis Vuitton again. Don't get me wrong, Louis Vuitton, like the styles, but it's just the quality's not there. At least in the lower end items that I could afford, it's just not there. And for that price, I can get better. So guys, don't waste your money on stuff. It's just I get it. It's the craftsman. The craftsman's giving you a cheap item. It's like you're paying for his craft. So I completely understand Louis Vuitton. You do your thing, whatever. But like for me, I like Guess. Guess makes really great quality stuff for the price you're paying. But like with Tommy Bahama makes some really nice stuff. But the stitching falls apart. Sorry to burst your bubble, Tommy Bahama, but it just is. Like, stitching sucks. You have nice fabrics, but man, you just let it go to waste by just letting it fall apart. But then you find cheap stuff. Like I said, this jacket, I don't even think it has a brand. Yeah, it doesn't even have a brand on it, but it's nice. And it's like, oh, well, how much did you actually pay for it? I didn't. It's like, what? It's like, yeah, I found it in the trash. It's like, wait, you found it in the trash? Like, yeah, bro. Still had tag on it and everything. It was one of those little dumpster deals, like where like Walmart or something. I'm over here just drifting in this thing. Walmart or something like just has like excessive stock, and they like throw it out, try to like throw it out in the back where nobody will notice. And it's like, oh, those are clothes. I'm checking that out. It's like, oh, jacket, ooh, fluffy jacket. You know, and that's what I'm more or less doing. Where am I going with this? I'm gonna go off a cliff. Oh, I just got a turn. Um, but yeah, so I got it for free, but I'm pretty sure I can go find this. I've seen something similar to it for like $50, actually bigger than this for $50, and I just like nice things. I don't really worry about like what everybody says, like, oh, it's this brand and that brand. Who cares? At one point, Louis, I don't know. I don't know the full history of Louis Vuitton. They were probably already like up there, but like um, I don't know. I don't know. Any high-end brand, you're gonna start from somewhere. You're gonna start as a no-name. I mean, I don't know. I don't know the history of this shit, but you get what I'm saying. How do you convince people to buy something high-end they get for cheap? And a lot of time they play the status game, but eventually they all started somewhere. So it's like, just stuff can be good and cheap. It doesn't have to be great. Yeah, it doesn't have to be great. Um, and you can still like it. Like me, I see people buy it all the time, but they say they want quality clothes. They buy graphic tees. Skip this. They buy graphic tees, and to me personally, like most graphic tees are a waste of money. And it's like, why? It's like, who the hell reads shirts? Like, I get it. We all go to our closet. I used to do it. And we'd be like, what shirt do I want to wear today? It's like, FBI, Federal Boot Inspector, Like, yeah, I'm aware of that. And you might not like to be able to go like, oh, FBI, but in reality, it's nobody pays attention to shirts. They might glance at it like, oh, cool shirt, Nobody cares. It's like, are you wearing it because you like the shirt, or are you wearing it because you think everyone's gonna like the shirt? Stop worrying about everyone else. I'm a superstar. I'm a party hard as a rave in my garage. Sorry, I listened to this song. But yeah, there's a. I'm gonna turn this thing. Yeah, there's a lot of things out there that'll make you happy. You don't necessarily need a lot of money for, but I get it. They hype stuff up and they make you feel like you need it, and it's cool. But it's like people say, "Oh, escape the Matrix." Yeah, just stop walking into it. I mean, partially this thing we call society. You have to realize. Imagine back in the day when we had castles. You want to live outside the castle in the wild, or you want to live inside the castle? Everyone knows at the end of the day, living inside the castle is the better option. Or living inside the walls of the city where the castle resides is the better option. It's like, why? Because if you don't play the system, you don't reap the benefits. You can do it by yourself, but you might get robbed by bandits. You might, it just sucks. Can you make it? Yeah, you can definitely make it off great, I guess, but at some point, you're always going to be a part of the system. Because even back then, even if we were to go back then and say, I live in the open land outside the castle, or outside the city walls beyond the castle. It's like if the kings came with their knights and their explorers and were like, yeah, we found some new land, yo, hop up or pay tax. He'd be like, well, I'm there. Like, no, we got a whole army. You're either gonna listen to us, or you're gonna, yeah, we're just gonna take your shit. Oh crap. So yeah, you kind of gotta play. Oh shit. Yo, bro, you should have jumped. Yeah, shooting my car. Yeah, I completely forgot what I was talking about. I'm brain dead. Uh, oh, I didn't know. Yeah.
Once upon a time, it was written music.
Yeah, I don't know. Completely forgot what was going on.
Style. group of
Trying to do two things at once.
they call themselves the Rhythm Gang. This is their story.
But yeah, basically, I'm in a little bit more fortunate position, guys. This is more of just like an update video. And, no, I kind of ran it a little bit long. But, hey, shit, I guess I'm here, right? But yeah, anyway, if you made it to this point in the video, which is an extremely long way, congratulations, you got to hear my bullshit rant. And, in the future, I'll be giving more updates, better updates, hopefully. And, yeah, I should be coming back, probably in December, y'all. But I will be posting on games, or playing these games. And, we'll go from there. I'm pretty sure this is a boring video if you skip through it. You're at the end now, whatever. Cool, just an update video. Yeah, that's about it. I'll be getting into setting up for Saturdays what I want to do. Might skip Saturday here and there because I'm gonna go visit family. Yeah, those people still exist. Mom, dad.
People still listen to Riddick.
Oh man. So yeah. Anyway, that's my update for what's been going on and what is going on. And yeah, this is a terrible video. And if you think it is retarded, okay, it's cool, it's fair. But anyway, I'm gonna get to editing this video. I'm gonna be doing game stuff, updates on what I'm doing outdoors, indoors, stuff like that. Probably turning Saturday into the locality of where I do my dress ups. So this is where I have time, you know. Let's try these costumes on, man. And I'll get from there. So yeah, I got free time now, guys. I'll probably make another video after this, shorter video. And if you watch the short video and made it to this point in this video, cool. But if you watch the short one, you probably didn't watch this one. Anyway, yeah, that's about it. And I look forward to making more shit for y'all and myself.
Girls and boys had many rhythm
Suicide time.
and
Boing.
ever after.
That worked out well.
The end. I live a way to live. I live a
There we go. Deuces. Do, 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 do.